Let me start with a question that may surprise you. Have you ever wondered why so many men, even the softest, kindest, most romantic men, secretly fantasize about rough sex? Why the idea of being with a woman who can match that primal fire, that raw energy, that uninhibited intensity turns them on beyond belief? It's not just about the physical act. It's not just about faster, harder, or more aggressive movements. It's about something deeper, something psychological, something that awakens a side of him that he rarely gets to express. And when you understand the positions men beg for in these moments, you realize that each one tells a story about his desires, his insecurities, his fantasies, and his deepest need to feel both powerful and vulnerable at the same time. This is not just about sex, it's about unlocking a man in a way that leaves him addicted to you, because you're the only one who knows how to give him this particular experience. Now, let's get real for a second. Men live much of their lives in control. They're expected to lead, to perform, be in charge at work, at home, and even in the bedroom. And yet, deep inside, many men crave moments where they can step outside of that constant pressure. Rough sex isn't about cruelty. It isn't about violence. It's about intensity. It's about him being able to let out the side of himself that society keeps locked up. It's about freedom. And when you, as his partner, learn to embrace that intensity with him, you become more than a lover. You become his escape. You become the one person who makes him feel alive, primal, and fully masculine in the most uninhibited way possible. So what are these positions that men secretly beg for? Let's begin with the first one of the most classic yet misunderstood dogger style. Now, you may think, oh, everyone already knows that, but here's what most people don't realize. Dogger style is not just about angle and penetration. To him, this position screams raw dominance. It's about him being behind you, holding your hips, controlling the rhythm. It taps into his primal instincts, the caveman energy that says, she is mine right here, right now. And yet within this roughness, there is vulnerability. Because while he's taking you with intensity, he's also desperately hoping that you love it, that you crave it as much as he does, that you aren't just giving your body, but that your body is responding in a way that tells him you're lost in it too. For a man, there is nothing more intoxicating than hearing the sounds of your pleasure while he's behind you, gripping you, knowing he's driving you wild. That's why this position isn't just physical, it's psychological. It validates his masculinity, but also gives him a rare moment of total release from control, because in that frenzy, he's as lost as you are. But here's where it gets interesting. Men don't just love dogger style because of what it makes them feel. They love it because of what it makes them imagine. In that moment, his fantasies run wild. He imagines you wanting him so badly you can't wait. He imagines scenarios where your desire is untamed, where you surrender without hesitation, where you're not polite or reserved, but raw and animalistic with him. That's why when a woman embraces this position with passion, not passivity, it takes him over the edge. It makes him feel chosen, desired, devoured. And if you add little variations like reaching back to grab his thigh, arching your back deeper, or even looking over your shoulder with that daring glance, you're giving him an experience he will replay in his head for weeks, maybe months afterwards. Now, let's move to the second position men secretly beg for when it comes to rough sex, reverse cowgirl. At first glance, this might not seem like rough sex because technically you're the one on top. But let's break it down. Reverse cowgirl taps into something men rarely get the sight of you taking him with abandon, facing away, grinding, riding, showing him your most primal side without hesitation. What makes it rough isn't the position itself, it's the energy you bring to it. When you lean forward, gripping his legs, riding him hard, slamming your hips with rhythm. You're not just giving him pleasure, you're taking it. And that for a man is intoxicating, because as much as men like to feel in control, also love when a woman loses herself so much that she takes control of her own orgasm in a way that's almost overwhelming for him. Reverse cowgirl is also powerful because of the visual. Men are visual creatures, and in this position, he has a front row seat to a performance that he'll never forget. The bounce, the grind, the arch of your back, it's like watching pure desire in motion, and when you add a rough edge to it, riding faster, harder, using your whole body with wild energy, you give him a sense of being ravished by your desire. For him, that's rough in the best possible way. It's not about him doing the work, it's about him surrendering to you while you take what you want. And that flips the script, creating a tension that's deeply arising because it challenges his usual role. Here's the psychological piece. When you ride him like this, you're telling him with your body, You're so irresistible that I can't stop myself. That message, more than anything, inflates his desire, his confidence, his obsession with you. Because rough sex isn't always about him dominating you. It's also about you showing him that you can dominate the moment. And the truth is, men secretly crave that. They want to see a side of you that's raw, hungry, unapologetic. Reverse cowgirl, when done with intensity, gives him exactly that. And let me add this, rough sex is not just about speed or strength. It's about presence. It's about the energy exchange, the willingness to go further, to let go of inhibitions. Men don't beg for these positions just because they feel good physically, but because they give him permission to release sides of himself that are often hidden. And when you meet him there, when you match his energy and bring your own fire to the table, you create something unforgettable. By now you can probably feel it. This isn't just about positions, it's about psychology. Each rough sex position unlocks a hidden part of his desire, and when you learn to recognize what's really going on beneath the surface, you stop being just another woman he's been with. You become unforgettable. Because while anyone can do the physical act, not everyone understands the emotional charge behind it. And when you understand it, you know how to give him something that will haunt him in the best possible way. Let's move into the third position men secretly beg for, standing sex against the wall. Now, this one is pure intensity. There is nothing soft or slow about being grabbed, lifted, or pinned against a wall to him. This position embodies the raw, unfiltered energy of desire. It says, I want you so badly that I can't even wait for the bed. It's primal urgency. It's passion without pause. And when a man goes here with you, what he's craving is not just the physical closeness, it's the total abandon. Imagine what this position does to his mind. The act of pressing you against the wall, gripping your thighs, lifting you, controlling every movement, it ignites the part of him that wants to feel like an unstoppable force. It's his fantasy of being the man who takes what he wants in the heat of the moment. It's dominance mixed with desperation. And in that moment, he's not calculating, he's not performing, he's not thinking, he's consumed by you. That's why so many men fantasize about it, because it takes sex out of the ordinary and turns it into something raw and cinematic. But here's the hidden part, this position also makes him incredibly vulnerable, because holding you up, pushing into you, staying balanced, it's a test of his strength, his stamina, his ability to please you while giving his all. And while he may look in control, in his head he's thinking, am I strong enough? Can I last? Can I make her melt in this moment? That fear, that edge of insecurity is exactly why it turns him on so much. Because when you respond with moans, when your body arches into his, when you show him you're swept away by his intensity, you give him the reassurance he craves. You let him know he's doing it right. That's what makes him addicted. Now, let's talk about the fourth position men beg for in rough sex, the lap ride. You might not immediately think of this as rough, but let me explain. The lap ride is when he sits on a chair on the couch, maybe even the edge of the bed, and you straddle him, facing him, or sometimes turned around. What makes this rough isn't the position itself, it's the power struggle it creates. Because here you're face to face, chest to chest, locked in an intimate battle of dominance. When you grind on him hard, slam down onto him, grab his face, kiss him rough, pull his hair, you're showing him a side of yourself that's unafraid to take charge. Men crave this, even if they don't admit it, because as much as they love to lead, they also love when a woman takes what she wants. It's like you're saying, you're mine. Sit there. Don't move. Let me show you how much I want you. That mix of roughness and passion makes his head spin, drives him crazy because it flips the script. He's not the one in total control, and that loss of control is intoxicating. But here's why the lap ride goes deeper. Eye contact. When you're face to face riding him rough, he sees your expression, he feels your breath, he witnesses your hunger. That visual is like gasoline on his desire. It makes him feel like he's not just having sex, but being devoured. And when you add that rough edge, slapping his chest, biting his lip, pulling his hands to grab you tighter, you're giving him an intensity that burns into his memory. The lap ride also triggers one of his secret fantasies, the idea of being conquered. Most men walk through life always having to be strong, always having to hold it together. But when a woman takes him like this, rough and unapologetic, it's like a role reversal that electrifies his senses. He loves the loss of power because it shows him that your desire for him is uncontrollable. That, more than anything, is what makes this position unforgettable. And let me say this, rough sex is not just about being aggressive, it's about authenticity. When you give yourself permission to be wild, to be raw, to show him that you're not afraid of passion, he feels something he doesn't get anywhere else: freedom. He feels free to let go, free to be primal, free to be human in the most raw, unfiltered way. And that freedom bonds him to you. Because you're not just another woman he sleeps with, you're the woman who knows how to unlock this side of him. So far, we've looked at dogger style, reverse cowgirl, standing sex against the wall, and the lap ride. Each one taps into a different layer of his psychology, his desire for dominance, his craving to be wanted, his need to feel strong, and his hidden fantasy of surrender. And each one, when done with intensity, leaves him addicted to you in a way he can't explain. But there's one final position, one that brings all of this together, and it's the one men secretly beg for the most, because it's the perfect mix of primal roughness and emotional connection. It's the position that doesn't just blow his mind physically, but makes him fall deeper for you emotionally. And in the next part, I'm going to show you exactly what that position is, why it drives him wild, and how you can use it to create an experience so unforgettable that he won't just want you again. He'll crave you. Now we come to the final position, the one that combines every craving, every fantasy, every piece of roughness he secretly wants but rarely admits out loud. And that position is what I like to call the primal missionary. Now, at first glance, you might think missionary, that's vanilla, that's soft, that's boring. But you couldn't be more wrong, because when done with rough intensity, missionary becomes one of the most powerful, emotionally charged positions a man can experience. Why? Because it combines the primal with the personal. It's the one position where he has your full body pressed against his, where he can kiss you hard, pin your wrist down, thrust deep with full force, and still look into your eyes, that eye contact, that closeness. That's what elevates this from just sex into something unforgettable. Because roughness without connection can feel hollow, but roughness with intimacy, that's a drug. That's the kind of sex that burns into his memory forever. Picture this. He's on top of you, his body pressing you into the mattress, his hands holding your wrists down, his thrusts hard and relentless. In that moment, he's in full control. He's giving you every ounce of strength, every ounce of passion he has. And while it's rough, while it's intense, it's also deeply emotional. He's not just f***ing you, he's consuming you. He's looking at your face, reading your reactions, soaking in every sound that escapes your lips. For him, this is the ultimate proof that you're his in that moment. And men secretly beg for this, not because it makes them feel powerful, but because it makes them feel deeply connected while still feeding their primal hunger. The rough missionary position allows him to merge two sides of himself that are usually kept separate: the dominant, aggressive, prisoner's side, and the tender, loving, emotionally vulnerable side. And that's why it drives him crazy, because he doesn't have to choose between being rough and being connected. He gets both. And that duality is intoxicating. It's what makes him think of you long after the night is over. Now, let me explain the psychology of why this position is the one he craves most. Men walk through life under pressure. Pressure to be strong, to be providers, to perform, to keep it together, to never show weakness. When he's in this position with you, all of that pressure melts away. He doesn't have to be calm, polite, or controlled. He gets to be raw, he gets to be wild, he gets to be unfiltered. But at the same time, he's not disconnected. He's not having meaningless, detached sex. He's pouring himself into you. That balance between the animalistic and the emotional is exactly what makes it so unforgettable. And here's something you might not know. Men often feel like they're not allowed to ask for this kind of rough intensity. They don't want to scare you. They don't want to be judged, don't want to cross boundaries. So they keep it inside. They hold back. They hope you'll unleash it. That's why when you meet him in that energy, when you grab his hair, when you bite his shoulder, when you scratch his back, when you moan loudly and let yourself be swept away, you're giving him permission to go where he's always wanted to go. You're saying, it's okay. I can handle your passion. I can handle your roughness. I want it. And that is one of the most liberating gifts you can give a man. Because here's the truth. Men don't just beg for rough sex positions because of the physical pleasure. They beg for them because of what they mean. Dogger style means he gets to lose control. Reverse cowgirl means he gets to admire you and surrender. Standing against the wall means he gets to act on pure urgency. The lap ride means he gets conquered and devoured. and rough missionary. That means he gets to merge everything he craves, the primal, the tender, the emotional, the aggressive, into one unforgettable act. That's why it's number 5. That's why it's the one he'll never forget. So what does this all mean for you? It means that when you're with him, rough sex positions are not just about giving him pleasure. They're about deepening intimacy. They're about showing him that you can handle his full desire. You want him as much as he wants you, that you're not afraid of intensity. And that creates something far more powerful than physical satisfaction. It creates addiction to you, addiction to your presence, your energy, your fire. And this is the part I want you to remember. Most rough sex doesn't have to mean disconnected or cold. It can be loving. It can be passionate. It can be filled with laughter and playfulness. It can be both primal and romantic. The key is the energy you bring to it. When you bring confidence, openness, and connection into these positions, you give him an experience that makes him fall not just for your body, but for your soul. Now imagine this. He lies in bed after it's over, his chest heaving, his body exhausted, his mind replaying every moment. And as he looks at you, he doesn't just think, that was hot. He thinks, I've never experienced that with anyone before. That's what makes you unforgettable. That's what makes him chase you, crave you, and commit to you. Because you're not just giving him sex, you're giving him an experience that taps into the deepest parts of his desire. So if you want to truly blow his mind, if you want to become the woman he can't stop thinking about, remember these 5 rough sex positions. Use them not just as physical techniques, but as tools of connection, as doorways into his psychology, as expressions of your wild, confident, feminine energy. Because when you do, you're not just giving him what he wants, you're giving him what he secretly needs. And that's the kind of intimacy that keeps a man hooked for life. And if you're watching this and you've been holding back, if you've been afraid to unleash this side of yourself, let me tell you, don't. Men crave it, they beg for it. They fantasize about it in silence. And when you give it to them, when you meet them in that raw space, you'll see a side of him you've never seen before. And that side, that's where the magic happens. So if you found value in this, if this opened your eyes, here's what I want you to do next. Don't just listen and move on. Take action. Try one of these positions with the man you love and watch how it transforms the energy between you. And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button right now, because this is just the beginning. I've got more insights, more secrets, more powerful truths about men, sex, and intimacy that will change the way you see relationships forever. And if you don't want to miss them, subscribing is the way you stay connected. Like this video, if it spoke to you, share it with a friend who deserves to know these truths, and comment below which of these 5 positions you think would drive your man the craziest. I want to hear from you. I want to connect with you, because intimacy isn't just something we talk about, it's something we grow through together. Remember, the sexiest thing you can bring to any bedroom is not a move, not a trick, not a position. It's your confidence, your openness, your willingness to connect. Positions are just vehicles. What really blows a man's mind is when he feels your passion, your desire, your fire. That's what men beg for most. And that, my friend, is what makes you unforgettable. So go out there, unleash your fire, and watch how he melts for you. Because once you unlock this side of yourself, you'll never go back. And neither will he